And some crucial dialogue between Indian and Chinese armies in a fresh attempt to resolve the month-long bitter border standoff in eastern Ladakh is currently underway. The high-level military dialogue is being held at Moldo on Chinese side. Opposite Chushul, India today has accessed India standing. In fact, India's stand there during this entire meet. Sources tell us that India wants restoration of status quo to what it was in April in Ladakh. India also wants China to pull out armoured and artillery from forward position close to line of actual control and withdrawal of Chinese troops as well from Finger 4 area. The Indian Army has also made it quite clear that all past agreements between the two nations should be respected. Here we're looking at high-level talks underway currently, and India there making its stance very clear. Crucial dialogue between the Indian and Chinese armies. In fact, in a fresh attempt now to resolve the month-long bitter border standoff there in eastern Ladakh, the high-level military dialogue is currently being held at Moldo. India has now, currently the talks underway. India today has accessed India's stance during this meet. Sources tell us that India has made it very clear that India wants restoration of status quo between the two countries in what was in place in Ladakh so far. India also wants China to pull out the armoured and artillery from all forward position close to the line of actual control and the withdrawal of Chinese troops from Finger 4 area. Remember, China had upped its military troops right along the line of actual control, and that triggered India. It came down to brawls between the two sides. Let's take a quick look at News Director Rahul Kaval explaining the area along the Pangong Lake where current India-China standoff is taking place.
The Pangong Lake is 134 kilometers in length. At its widest, about 5 kilometers wide. And this is the north bank of the Pangong Lake, which is where the current transgression has taken place. This is the south bank of the Pangong Lake. So this is the south bank, and it is here that the current standoff is taking place. But what we've been able to do, and this is where things will get interesting, is actually go further to give you a real sense of what's happening. So on this side of the Pangong is the Indian deployment. This is Finger 1, Finger 2, Finger 3. We have a post there. There's also a base, an Indian Army base. And from the last Indian Army base, this line is dotted. It's dotted because there is no road going from the base till Finger 4. The Indian Army actually patrols it on foot. So you've got a road, a proper road coming up till Finger 3, and then you've got the Indian Army having to patrol. The Chinese, on the other hand, this is their base. So they've got one military base at Sirijap 1, one military base at Sirijap 2, then they have a base further up. This is Finger 8. Now, why this area is contentious is because ordinarily the Indian Army patrols up till Finger 8. Now, either they can walk along this path or they can take the boats. You see some boats in the Pangong Lake, so they can patrol using the boats, but our patrol goes up till Finger 8. However, what the Chinese did in 1999, when the Indian Army had evacuated forces from here because of the Kargil war, they built a road. At that time it was a Kacha road going up till Finger 4. What they've done recently over the past few weeks is that they've been able to make it a hardtop, a metallic road, which makes it easy for them to bring more troops. So the Chinese are currently sitting till Finger 4. India claims the line of actual control runs through Finger 8. This purple line that you see on the map is the line that India believes is the line of actual control. This other purple line is the line that China believes is the line of actual control. So this area in the middle is the disputed area, which is what the confrontation is currently all about, because we claim that the line runs up till here, the Chinese claim the line runs up till here, and as a reality they're currently sitting up till Finger 4, which disallows Indian patrols from going further. So that's broadly the lay of the land.
Well, we see India and Chinese troops there that close, currently at loggerheads. High-level talks are currently underway in Moldo. Let's quickly go over to Abhishek Balla to take us through what India's stance is right now. Abhishek, do take us through the high-level meet between top commanders. India and China now, talks underway. They want to make this peaceful talks, come down to peaceful solutions and not let this dispute snowball further. What's India's stance here?
Yes, that's the idea, that, some kind of a resolution can be achieved, and both the countries, both the armies are hopeful of some resolution. But obviously, when negotiations take place, there are certain sticking points. India has been saying that, there has to be a complete troop withdrawal from close to the LAC, and also a withdrawal of heavy artillery that China had brought in, and as a result of that, even India responded with a similar kind of a deployment. But the big focus of these talks was, the fact that China tried to change status quo at Pangong Lake. And that's where they were sitting at Finger 4 for the last 1 month. Finger 4 is an area which India has been controlling for years. The river is divided into 8 fingers. What these fingers are actually, protrusions, mountainous spurs that jut out towards the lake, and in military parlance they're called fingers. So finger 1 to 4 was in India's control. Finger 5 to 8, China has been dominating, even though India has always claimed that it has rights till finger 8. But the fact remains that China had come up to finger 4, made certain permanent structures, and that's the reason why this face-off was happening. So there is an appeal here by India now that please move back, because this is an area controlled by us. But unfortunately, till now, that did not happen after several levels of talks. Whether there will be that big breakthrough in these talks is still not known. But if that doesn't happen, then Indian Army is ready for the long haul.
Right, absolutely. Abhishek, we do know both sides are currently at loggerheads. Talks are on. The bitter battle has been on. At least a cold war, to say the least, has been on for over a month. And now, finally, some high-level talks and dialogue between the two countries. Let's hope it's peaceful. Let's hope they stick to the status quo that has prevailed all along. Abhishek, thank you very much for joining us with those details. Now, after having been surprised by the Chinese army, both at Galwan Nulla and Pangong So, in the first week of May, the armed forces have now taken credible deployment measures all along the line of actual control, and not just in Ladakh. Gaurav Sawant brings us more.
The Indian Army has moved 155mm howitzers, field guns and additional troops to strengthen the line of actual control after a face-off with Chinese troops at the Pangong So and Galwan Nala. Though the situation is understood to have eased at Galwan but remains the same at Pangong So, the army is clearly taking no chances. Troops have already been positioned along traditional flashpoints in Ladakh, including at Depsang and Chumar. Intelligence inputs had indicated the need for strengthening defenses.
We must continue building up infrastructure on our own side of LAC to make life easy for our troops which are deployed along the LAC. Chinese have built their infrastructure. Capacity building takes time. Intentions can change overnight. And Chinese have shown their intentions quite clearly.
The fact that the first face-off took place at Nakula in North Sikkim and was followed up by transgressions at multiple points in Ladakh point to a wider Chinese plot at the line of actual control. The Army and the Air Force quickly deployed additional forces at flashpoints and other important locations. In Chumar and Depsang in Ladakh, Parahoti in Uttarakhand, along multiple locations in North Sikkim and in Arunachal Pradesh.
जो अपने माउंटेन फॉर्मेशन है रिजर्व, जो हमारे इन्फेंट्री फॉर्मेशन है रिजर्व, और जो हमारे आर्मर्ड फॉर्मेशंस हैं, उनमें से ऐसे दस्तों का और ट्रूप्स का गठन करें जो कि काफ़ी तेज़ी से इस इलाके में डिप्लॉय हो सकते हैं, जैसे कि मैकेनाइज्ड इन्फेंट्री, जैसे कि कुछ एयर डिफेंस के दस्ते, कुछ स्पेशल फोर्सेस के दस्ते, कुछ नेवी के दस्ते अगर जरूरत पड़ती है तो इन सबको हम उधर तुरंत मूव करें.
India has also deployed artillery, armor, infantry combat vehicles and additional battalions along the LAC to deal with any military adventurism. India's rapid mirror deployment has also sent out a signal about India's defense preparedness. Both Sukhoi 30 MKIs and Mirage 2000 fighter jets have been flying sorties along with heavy lift aircraft moving men and material ahead of talks between senior commanders of India and China at the Moldo border meeting point opposite Chushul in Ladakh. China wants to keep India confined to South Asia, but India's growing stature has the dragon rather uncomfortable. Its incursions, whether in Galwan Nala or Pangong Tso, are to put India on a back foot. But the army is now effectively deployed not just here but also at other flashpoints including Depsang, Chumar, Barahoti in Uttarakhand, North Sikkim and along the Arunachal border. India wants peace but with respect. With cameraman Kripal Singh in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.